My name is Douglas, and this is my resolution tracker. And I love how blue my eyes look with this sweater. That's a fun little thing that goes on. My eyes are officially, I believe, called steel blue because of the darkness in it and the amount of green or something. And there's a little, what I Love You Beth Cooper referred to as a corona in the middle, which is sort of cute and fun. Anyway, again, I did not make it to the gym. Over the past few weeks, it's been uncommon for me to take a lunch hour. And it's something that I've really just started to notice as a pattern. I'm the only person in the office who reports hours. Everybody else is salaried, and so they just kind of come in and get paid for 7.5 hours of work, whereas I report the time that I come in and leave and when I take a lunch. And the expectation is that I'm in the office for 8.5 hours, but take an hour-long lunch. And so I get paid for 7.5 per day. And so for a long time when I was starting, I would take that hour-long lunch. I would leave the office and be out of the office for an hour. Lately, I've been doing it to go to the gym, but my schedule has been really weird over the past meeting or what have you. And so I haven't really been leaving the office for that hour-long lunch period. And so now it feels weird to do it. And the concept of exiting the office for a full hour is weird. It's less weird if I do it to go to the gym because I guess that feels like it's more productive. Whereas if I leave to go and get lunch and just sit where I'm eating lunch, well, that's not a productive use of my time. So why would I do that during the workday? Well, because that's an hour I'm not actually getting paid for. I can report those hours, but I don't. Unless I've been doing something that's especially productive, I tend to just pretend that I've taken my lunch hour. Sorry about that. That's very distracting to me, and I'm sure it was distracting to you once I started to move it. In any case, it's something I should try to get over, but it's a pattern that I've picked up is not taking that time sitting at my desk, because what the rest of my colleagues do is they either bring lunch or go out and buy lunch and bring it back to the office and eat at the desk while they're working, which means they don't take the break that they really should for their own mental energy and for their own emotional stability. And so if I do it, I look especially weird because that means that I'm taking the hour that they're not. What makes me deserve it more than anyone else? Who knows? I did go and buy lunch today because I woke up late, because I stayed up late playing Minecraft, because I'm a terrible adult. And that's what my life looks like. But I didn't really feel like staying and making a sandwich, and then I needed to get to an office thing for 8:30 this morning. So I needed to make sure I left the house at a reasonable time to get there on time. And I did, and it worked pretty well. But it meant that I had to buy lunch, which was part of the reason that I wanted to get into making these sandwiches. And that means I won't have made a sandwich this entire week because tomorrow we're actually having a lunch meeting, which is another reason that I've not been taking that lunch hour, because we keep getting these meetings over lunch hour. Our staff meetings happen over lunch on Mondays. So that's one day that unless I take my lunch after the typical lunch hour and start it at 1, which is what I did a couple times to go to the gym, but unless I do that, which is also weird because then I end up getting back after most people are back from lunch normally, and the expectation is that I will have been in the office at that point. It's just a weird pattern that means that I don't often get the opportunity to get some time to myself because I'm either in a meeting or working or trying to get things done. I should try to figure out how to get over that, especially if I really want to continue going to the gym over lunch hour. I'm certainly not going to go before work because that involves getting up early, and Who does that, especially if you're not a functional adult? And secondly, I could go after work, but most days I don't really have the opportunity to do it because it means I'm going to some meeting or going to pick up boyfriend from work. And so that's hard to do as well, is go to the gym after work. I've done that a few times too. So I'm not going to make it this week. I probably won't make it to the gym because of that lunch meeting tomorrow. So that's a big fat goose egg in that resolution this week. But the important part of this is to recognize that just because I have failed this one week doesn't mean that I've broken my resolution and therefore why bother? That's not the point of doing a resolution. It's not do well until you don't and then go back to whatever you normally were doing. It's about building a new habit. And sometimes you're not going to do well at it, but you have to try. This has been my resolution tracker, and I'll see you tomorrow.